Thank you. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene people, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. I'd just like to acknowledge that Councillor Stikilo is absent for today's meeting and that Councillor Bellemare is joining us online. Councillor Bellemare. And we have our new student representative, Raylan Kashowski, who's here in public, sitting to my left. So welcome to Council. First motion by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be amended as follows. We have one addition to the agenda, and that's item 8C, our child care facility funding. I'm all in favor of that addition to the agenda. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly and seconded by Councillor Ray that council accepts the regular agenda as amended. I'm assuming again, all in favor. And that motion is also carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin and seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, and that's our regular council meeting that was held on October the 30th. Does any member of council have comments related to the minutes from the 30th? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, that's carried as well. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobring. So whereas the Municipal Act, Section 160, bracket 2, states each member of council must attend a public hearing unless the member is excused by other members from attending, is unable to attend owing to illness, or is required under the Municipal Council Conflict of Interest Act to withdraw from the hearing. Be resolved that council excuses the following council member from our November 13th public hearing, and that would be Councillor Stikilo. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, that motion is carried. And moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. All those in favor? Seeing none, carried. So council will now commence to hear representation from any persons who wishes to make a presentation for the scheduled public hearing under the Planning Act. Anyone who is not yet registered but wishes to make a presentation to the hearing, state your name. There's no one in the room, so I would assume that would be no one. Is that a good assumption? Yeah, that would be. And that the public hearing for variance application 12.06.290200/VO-23-0103, which is 34 Crane Avenue, is now in order. So we'll proceed with the public hearing for variance application I just mentioned. For the applicant, Patricia Hinkue, Lot 2, Block 3, Plan 1579, which is 34 Crane Avenue, to vary the westerly side yard setback from 0.6 meters to 0.46 meters for an existing detached garage to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw. Since there's no applicant in the room to speak in favor of it, does council have any questions regarding this application? I know we had information presented by our building director. So as there's no one here to represent the delegation and there are no questions from council, we'll move to making a decision. So moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Ray. Are we able to make a decision? Yeah. Do we need to question? Anyone have an issue with the information presented? And we can decide then. I would assume that we'll decide now.
So Mayor Bosiak,
Yes.
okay, why has this come up? Like, is this person planning on like fixing the garage or rebuilding the garage? Is it just simply a mechanical thing that they're getting the zoning change?
Lisa can answer that question.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this property was recently purchased. It has a new owner, and the new owner, who likes to have all the paperwork in order, noticed that the existing garage did not comply with the zoning bylaw by half a foot. So this variance needs to go through before all of the paperwork is signed. So just the interior side yard setback is only 1 foot off of the zoning bylaw requirement, and the eave of the garage is encroaching on the other property. So the eave, one of the conditions is that the eave has to be removed, or they need to get an easement agreement with the other property owner. So it's just a kind of a formality to, because the garage has been there for many years.
Is that good, Councillor Bellemare? Yeah. Okay. So then I guess we'll deliberate, and we're in favor of this application.
So there will be a formal resolution later on.
There'll be a resolution later?
that everybody
Okay.
could vote on.
Okay.
Just to go through the process to
Okay.
close it.
All right then, so that's all we have to do for that, correct? Okay. So moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved, the council now reconvenes to the regular council meeting. All those in favor indicate. Anyone opposed? None. See the process? Yeah, so far so good, hey? Pretty amazing. Well, the business we do, yeah. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be it resolved that the public hearing for variance application 1206-2902-200 VO 230103 for the owner and applicant, Patricia Hinkyu, which is 34 Crane Avenue, to vary the westerly side yard setback for an existing garage to comply with the City of Dauphin bylaw be now concluded. And all those in favor? Procedural. Opposed? None. Carried. I'm just going to, this is the same thing. We
should do that one.
We need to read this one? You're kidding me. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin. Whereas due notice was given with respect to variance application 1206-290200 VO 230103, and whereas no objections were received to the application, be resolved that the variance order for 34 Crane Avenue to vary the westerly side yard setback from 0.6 meters to 0.46 meters for an existing detached garage to comply with the zoning bylaw be approved with the following conditions. That the applicant complies with the Manitoba Building Code for the reduced side yard for the exposed building face of the garage that will require a minimum fire resistance rating of 45 minutes. This may be achieved by applying one layer of 12.7 mm fire-rated drywall to the inside face of the wall, all joints to be taped and sealed. The roof soffit shall have no openings and be protected by providing unvented aluminum soffits, gypsum soffit boards, or other acceptable materials in accordance with sentence 9.10.14 of the Manitoba Building Code. The encroaching part of the eave to be removed, or an encroachment agreement shall be provided to the city, entered into by the property owners that are affected, and that construction shall comply with the Manitoba Building Code, and the applicant obtains a building permit for the fire protection requirements. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank you, Charla. Next, we move to the consent agenda. We have a number of different items under item 5. Outstanding receivable accounts added to taxes. We have roll 0092900, which is $784.72 for weed control costs, and 0254200, also $588.56 for weed control costs, for a grand total of $1,373.28. Also, we have the following water account to be added to taxes, and that's roll 0221300 in the amount of $234.68, and in that the owner did not pay the fine or water bill. So both of these are recommended by the Director of Finance and our tax clerk and our utility clerk. So those are the changes to our account receivables. We also have a proclamation, which is related to Municipal Government Awareness Week, and I'll call on Deputy Mayor Lachlan for that.
Thank you. And whereas community participation in municipal elections is important, and whereas community involvement in local government decision-making is essential to a healthy democratic system, and whereas community understanding of municipal government operations and the services it provides is of primary importance to meaningful participation at the local level. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim November 20th to the 24th, 2023, as Municipal Government Awareness Week, and that is dated at the City of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba this 13th day of November 2023.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. We have a number of filing items. The announcement by the provincial government of their Westman Regional Cabinet Office, which will be located in Brandon. From the Child Nutrition Council of Manitoba, their 2023 annual report. From Community Futures Parkland, their November newsletter. From Prairie Mountain Health, their newsletter of November 2023, and the retirement notice of their CEO, Brian Schoenbart, who will be leaving the RHA in the spring. A letter from the Office of the Lieutenant Governor regarding the Provincial Community Leadership Awards. From the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, the 2022 convention minutes and 2022-23 financial statements of that organization, and a letter from the Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations regarding his new portfolio, and that was sent out to our municipality. So moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Daly, be resolved that the items listed in red under item 5, the consent agenda, be approved and form part of these minutes. Questions or comments from any members of council on the consent agenda? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Sobering, be it resolved that council accepts as information the corporate report for the November 13th meeting from the city manager, and that's for the month of October. Charlotte, anything you wanted to highlight from your report for us?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. One thing I did want to highlight was that I've been working with our new safety manager, Conrad Demeray, on the municipal emergency plan and updating it for 2024. And one of the probably the biggest changes right now is that as a result of the bus crash that happened in June, we are adding a section regarding how do we help our community when something happens outside of our community, but our residents are affected. So we did not need to provide any, really any emergency assistance in terms of fire or police or ambulance or anything like that, but we did need to provide help for our residents. So that is going into the plan for 24. Thank you.
Any member of council have questions for the city manager? No? Seeing none? I'd like to call for the question. And all those in favor of accepting the report? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council accepts the information, the corporate report from our ICT manager, also for the month of October. Any questions or comments regarding anything in Justin's report? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor of accepting that report? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, that motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Be resolved that the finance accounts, having been examined by council, be authorized and approved as follows. We had 100 checks in the most recent run, which totaled $3,186,260.88. We had no voided checks in the current range, and there were no voided checks in the past range. And we did have 6 electronic payments that totaled $201,731.06. Any questions or comments about the financial report? Call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Solbring. Be it resolved, the council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements before PSAB adjustments for the period ending September 30th, which include our general fund balance sheet and income statement and a utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any questions or comments regarding these two reports? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? None. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Solbring. Be resolved, the council accepts as information the reserve report for the period ending September 30th, 2023. Questions or comments about the reserve report? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Solbring and seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the budget variance analysis for September 2023. Any questions regarding the budget variance? No. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following engineering staff report for the November 13th meeting, and that's from our building inspector for the month of October. Questions or comments regarding the building inspector's report?
I guess I'll just break up the non-comments. I think we have a single family unit. So that's in the end of 2023, and it's a big deal for us because it's very rare. So hopefully it's the sign of things to come. And yep, that's the only comment.
Thank you, Councillor Solbring. Anyone else have comments or questions? Seeing none, call for the question then. All those in favor of this? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council accepts as information the minutes and reports from the following committees. We had a report from the Dauphin and Area Welcoming Committee Coalition, their regular council or their regular committee meeting from August the 9th. We have the regular board meeting minutes from the Parkland Regional Library, that's September the 18th, and the Dauphin Public Library, which is their regular board meeting of September the 19th. Fort Dauphin Museum presented two reports, their regular board meeting minutes from October the 4th and their manager's report dated November the 1st, and the regular board meeting minutes from the November 1st meeting of the Dauphin Rec Services. Any questions or comments from any members of council who are on these committees or have questions for any of these committees? Seeing none, call for the question then. All those in favor of accepting these? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Solbring. I'm going to talk to you, Councillor Daly, about these very long. Yeah, on a day I have a cold. Whereas on April 27th, 2020, the City of Dauphin entered into a purchase agreement with Blue Hills Holding for the sale of the property at 103 Oak Avenue, which included the city's standard condition that if development was not completed within 24 months of the date of purchase, then the property would be transferred back to the City of Dauphin at the cost of the purchaser. And whereas this purchase agreement was registered as a caveat on the property title on June the 1st of 2020. And whereas in response to a request for an extension from Blue Hills Holding at their regular meeting of May the 9th, 2022, Council granted an extension to the purchase agreement deadline for construction to be completed at 103 Oak Avenue for an additional 18 months, which was to October the 27th of this year. And whereas at the regular meeting of February 13th, 2023, Council denied Blue Hill Holdings a request for a second extension to this completion deadline, and the property at 103 Oak Avenue was subsequently sold to OB Construction Limited. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence received on August 11th from Patrick Childs, owner and contractor with OB Construction, indicating that he was unaware of the timeline parameters outlined in the original purchase agreement and requesting an extension to the construction deadline of October the 27th. Further be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memo dated November 10th from the Deputy City Manager recommending the caveat instrument 1126959 be discharged from the title of the property at 103 Oak Avenue, thereby releasing OB Construction from the completion deadline specified in the original purchase agreement, with all costs for the discharge to be borne by the owner. Further be it resolved that council agrees with the deputy city manager's recommendation and authorizes the discharge for caveat instrument 1126959 to remove the purchase agreement from property registry for 103 Oak Avenue and to be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Thank you, Councillor Daly, for that resolution. Questions or comments regarding what was presented? Seeing none, call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Whereas the province of Manitoba is providing funding to the city of Dauphin to create an approximate 104-space childcare center as part of the federal government's mandate to increase childcare spaces in Canada. And whereas the city is responsible for certain provisions, including but not limited to land, utility access, and 15 years of general indoor and outdoor maintenance of the grounds and facility. And whereas, following the tendering process at their regular meeting of September 25th, 2023, Council awarded the contract for the Child Care Service Organization for the 15-year lease-free operation of the Child Care Center to Parkland Campus Kids Incorporated. And whereas, on September the 27th, the city released a request for proposal for full project consulting services for the Child Care Center, which closed on October the 27th. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memo dated November the 8th from the Economic Development Manager, noting that 5 proposals for full project consulting services for the Child Care Center were received, reviewed, and scored, and recommending that the RFP be awarded to S.A. Sternberg Architecture for a value of $298,460 plus applicable taxes up to 8.3% of the construction costs. Further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Economic Development Manager's recommendation to award the RFP for full project consulting services for the Child Care Center to S.A. Sternberg Architecture for a value of $298,460 plus applicable taxes up to 8.3% of construction costs, and authorizes a contract to be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager on behalf of the city of Dauphin. I see that the Economic Development Manager is at the meeting today. Martine, did you want to add anything to this resolution? No, you're just here for support. Any questions or comments from members of council about this resolution? Councillor Bellemare.
Yes, could I just have some clarity on that line in the resolution where it says that the city is responsible for 15 years of general indoor and outdoor maintenance of the grounds and the facilities? Will that be done under a contract? Is that the city's responsibility, the DRS? I mean, I know it's still early days, but I was just wondering if there was more information available on that piece.
That's just, I can speak to that, and Charlotte, if you'd like to add as well, that is a provision in the agreement with the province on the daycare funding. And it's every daycare that's being built has that built into it. And so, yeah, I don't think any real decision is made on how that will actually occur yet. It's just that we're aware that it's our responsibility and it's part of the deal.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'd like to call for the question. And all's in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. I'd just like to comment that this has been a very significant move for our community. The funding from the province and the federal government, I think, will be a tremendous benefit to us. And I want to acknowledge the work of city staff in handling both RFP processes, both for the daycare operator, which was a very lengthy and time-consuming process, as was this. We're a little bit unique as a community, and I just want to say that publicly, that most of the other daycares that are developed in the province under this funding agreement are under a, what's the word of the community, what's a, what's the name for the group? Not the name of, but it's a economic development corporation. And so we're unique in that we don't belong to it. So we followed all procurement rules and are proceeding, it seems like in good order. Moved by Councillor Sobring, seconded by Councillor Daly, whereas Manitoba Education and Early Childhood Learning awarded 104 space childcare facility to the City of Dauphin, be it resolved that Council accepts as information the financial assistance agreement between the Manitoba Education and Early Childhood Learning and the City of Dauphin regarding the funding of the 104 space childcare center project to be built in Dauphin for the amount of $5.5 million. Further be it resolved that Council authorizes the Mayor and City Manager to sign and seal the documents on behalf of the City of Dauphin in the manner provided by the province. And that's the province's agreement to fund the building of this facility. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? Seeing none, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobring, whereas Section 881(1) of the Municipal Act allows the council to appoint a person with the title youth member to sit with the council. Haha, we did that. And whereas that youth member must be less than 18 years of age or enrolled as a full-time student in a school, and whereas that youth member can participate in council's deliberations but is not counted for the purpose of determining quorum or deciding a vote of council, be it resolved that council appoints Raylan Kashowski as the City of Dauphin's youth member on council effective immediately to the end of June 2024. Questions or comments? Would anyone like to speak to this motion before we raise our hands and clap? No? Raylyn, did you want to, you're probably sitting here going, don't ask me to say anything, don't ask me to say anything, did you?
I wrote it out, but
Did
I'll
you?
say it next
Did you
time.
want to? You have 1 minute, 2 minutes before you have to go, right? Did you want to? Are you feeling, or I don't want to pressure you.
Sure.
Yeah, so
I
here.
don't know how.
Yep. Turn your mic on and away you go. There you go.
Hold on. So I've been asked to speak about my involvement in the community. I am a grade 12 student. I am the vice president on our school student council, as well as the chairperson for Student Voice for the school division. I am the president and secretary of the Spruce Creek 4-H Club. I am the MC for our school assemblies. I teach piano as well as a hockey official for Dauphin and Grandview associations. I have volunteered at Under One Roof in my school office and at a number of places for 4-H. I have worked at the Dauphin Friendship Center camp for the past 3 years. I'm involved in many sports in school and my community. I am in the jazz, choir, and school band. Most recently, I have become part of the Regional Connections helping immigrant families. And then I'll move to what our student council has done recently. We held our Remembrance Day ceremony in school on Friday. We will now start to plan activities for Christmas. Our next meeting is November 15th. Our first student voice meeting is also November 23rd, and I have attended our Community Remembrance Day service on Saturday, and thank you for welcoming me to your meetings.
Well, thank you. It sounds like you don't have any time to do anything, but I'm glad that you chose to do this. And we look forward to participating as much as you can, because obviously you're a little bit busier than most of us. No disrespect intended to any member of council, but that's quite the resume. So again, thank you very much. So just a little round of applause. And if you need to exit stage left, you can, because
thank
I know you had another appointment to go. So thanks very much for coming out today. And all those in favor of the motion? Anyone opposed? Seeing none? Welcome to our student member. Moved by Councillor Daly and seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a memo dated November the 2nd from the building inspector regarding a proposal to subdivide Northwest Quarter Section 142519, Lot 3, Plan 2933, which is 2004 Mountain Road, for owner Gary Roloff and applicant Balkan and Kolchicki Surveys, care of Greg Molnar. And there's the Community Planning Services File 4411-23-2772, application 23059. Further be resolved that council approves the subdivision application for the property as described above with the following conditions: that the cost of the new service connection and utility extensions will be the responsibility of the property owner, and that lot surface drainage cannot adversely affect the adjacent property. It's recommended that it be done in consultation with the City of Dauphin and cooperation with the adjacent property owners. Anyone wish to speak to this resolution? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Next resolution, moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Whereas the Dauphin Derailleur Cycle Club, DDCC, operates Northgate Trails partly on city-owned land under a 2018 recreational land use agreement and a 2021 addendum, which outlines additional trailhead development, including the addition of micro cabins. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a second addendum to the recreational land use agreement with the DDCC and a memorandum dated November the 2nd from the city manager noting that the addendum recognizes the existing facilities and potential facilities not included in the previous agreement and specifies a 10-year term with option to renew every 5 years thereafter, and recommending that the addendum be approved. Further be it resolved that council agrees with the city manager's recommendation and authorizes the addendum to the recreational land use agreement between the city and the Dauphin Derailleur Cycle Club be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Questions or comments as to speaking to this resolution? Seeing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Whereas as part of the 2023 financial plan, council approves the purchase of a new overhead door for one of the bays at the city shop, and the old overhead door can be sold. And whereas in accordance with municipal tendering and procurement policy 4.2, council may dispose of surplus assets via resolution if the estimated value of the asset is less than $5,000. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a memo dated November 10th from the Director of Public Works noting that Jim Payne has offered to purchase the old overhead door for $2,000 plus taxes and recommending that this offer be accepted. Further be resolved that council agrees with the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and Operations and authorizes the sale of the old overhead door to Jim Payne for the purchase price of $2,000 plus applicable taxes. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Whereas according to the City of Dauphin travel and expense policy, all out-of-province travel must receive prior approval of council. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated October 31st from Fire Chief Cam Abry requesting approval to attend the Canadian Association of Firefighters Government Relations Week in Ottawa, December the 4th to the 6th, 2023. Further be resolved that council approves this out-of-province travel request and authorizes all costs to be borne by the City of Dauphin. Questions or comments regarding this?
Is it all costs or is it just his trip to Winnipeg?
Just to Winnipeg?
Yep.
Yeah. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Whereas Age Friendly Manitoba has announced an Age Friendly 2.0 community collaboration grant of up to $10,000 to support projects that bring together the municipality and community organizations and that impact 2 or more of the 8 age-friendly domains that affect seniors. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the City of Dauphin's application to Age Friendly 2.0 for a $10,000 community collaboration grant to assist with the design, construction, and operation of Mamawee Park, a full 4-season activity park and green space featuring a year-round toboggan run, Indigenous cultural and reconciliation spaces, walking and biking paths, climbing wall, bumper ceremonial stage, skating ovals, gathering spaces, and more to be phased in over a 2-year period beginning in the spring of 2024. Further be it resolved that Council recognizes that Mamawee Park project for its promising impact on the age-friendly domains of outdoor space and buildings, respect and social inclusion, social participation, and community support and health services, and authorizes the city's application for the age-friendly community collaboration grant to be submitted by the Economic Development Manager on behalf of the City of Dauphin. Questions or comments regarding this application and this resolution? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Whereas the City of Dauphin contracts 911 services from the City of Brandon, and the 911 fee schedule is updated each October for the following year, be it resolved that Council accepts as information 911 Service Agreement Schedule A and correspondence dated October 26th from Robert Stewart, the Director of Emergency Communications for the City of Brandon Public Safety Communications Center, noting that the 2024 fee includes a 3% increase. Further be resolved that Council forwards the funding request for the city from the City of Brandon Communications Center to the City Dauphin's 2024 budget deliberations for consideration. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin. Whereas the City of Dauphin participates in the Manitoba Crime Stoppers program, be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated November the 7th from Boris Noasad, Chair of the Manitoba Crime Stoppers Board, updating Council on the operations of their board and the crucial role that the program in enhancing the safety of communities, and requesting a donation of 25 cents per resident. Further be resolved that Council forwards this request to the 2024 budget deliberations. Questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Whereas Regional Connections in Dauphin has welcomed 171 newcomers to Canada in the last 12 months and provides core settlement services, including community connection activities, in-person and online English classes, a school settlement worker, and a new home visitor program for newcomer mothers of preschoolers who are isolated due to transportation barriers. And whereas Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada funds Regional Connections Core Settlement Services for Newcomers, which is currently in the 4th year of a 5-year funding cycle, and IRCC has opened the call for proposals for the 2025 to 2030 funding cycle. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated November 7th from Steve Reynolds, the Executive Director of Regional Connections, requesting a letter supporting their proposal for IRCC funding to continue these important services that support this much-needed local immigration program. Further be resolved that Council recommends Regional Connections or commends Regional Connections for the critical support they provide to Dauphin's diverse influx of immigrants and authorizes a letter supporting their proposal for the continued IRCC funding to enable the continuation of this program in our community. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? Seeing none, I'll call. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Motion by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin. Whereas the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, the CRTC, Broadband Fund supports fiber transport projects and funds long-haul fiber that connects eligible communities and or adds resiliency to their networks. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated November 10th from Derek Radix, the Director of Market Development and Government Relations of Westman Communication Group, requesting a letter supporting Westman Communication Group's proposed CRTC Broadband Fund application for fiber installation from Minitonas to Dauphin, which will create a fiber ring and provide broadband traffic from Dauphin with additional paths to the internet, and will also build open access points of presence in the arm of Dauphin at Valley River and at Sifton. Further be it resolved that council supports the development and extension of broadband capacity in our region and authorizes a letter supporting Westman Communication Group in their application to the CRTC Broadband Fund to support this installation. Questions or comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following invitation, and it's from the city in regards to their employee appreciation party, which is being held on December the 1st. Further be resolved that all expenses related to council and senior administration attending this event be borne by the city of Dauphin. Questions or comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following councillors' reports for our regular meeting on November 13th. Councillor Bellemare, since you're distant and blowing your nose quite frequently, I hope you're feeling all right. You look fine, by the way, but I'll let you start. How about that?
All right, thank you. This is the first day of coughing. It's been just fatigue up to this point, but okay. Council work on November 2nd and 3rd, Riverside Cemetery meetings, November the 8th, Dauphin and Area Welcoming Community Coalition meeting. And ACC, by the way, is recruiting for its building construction course that they have beginning early in the new year. And if anyone listening or reading these notes is at all interested in signing up, give ACC a call as soon as possible because they need their numbers to ensure that the course actually runs. And if there's not enough enrollment, then it doesn't happen. And the new director, Carol Stewart, has many ideas for different programming. And I've been doing some reading lately. I've had some time. So Dauphin and Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, plus Councillor Ray's detailed report and articles from his recent conference on community safety and wellbeing. Very interesting. And community events, just a reminder that Santa Claus Parade is coming up and Black Friday Parade are coming, or Black Friday events are coming up. So keep your eyes on the Dauphin Herald for updates about what's happening where. A little shout out there for you, Deputy Mayor. And kudos. Thank you to homeowners and business owners for cleaning the snow on their sidewalks in front of your places and also sanding them. There's been a great deal of ice lately and people have broken their wrists when they've fallen. So thank you for taking care of the snow and ice to assist your fellow community members. And Raylyn has left, but it's great to see her here and big welcome to her. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sobring. Drink plenty of fluids. Did I say Councillor Sobring? I meant Councillor Bellemare. Of course I meant Councillor Bellemare. But that's why I'll throw it over to you, Councillor Sobring.
Thanks. Foreshadowing, I guess. On November 2nd, I attended a Riverside Cemetery meeting, followed by Monday, November 6th, Economic Development meeting. And on November 11th, just recently, I attended the Remembrance Day ceremony at the Credit Union Place and at the Cenotaph. And that's it for me. I also want to welcome our new youth counselor, even though she's not here. And yeah, I just look forward to kind of wrapping up the year and getting excited about the year to come. So thank you.
I'd now like to call on Deputy Mayor Loughlin, who's a true gentleman, who did, we shook hands on a bet, and I'd like him to stand maybe, just to, no, never mind. Just let that big W be seen by all. Christian and I had a little side bet, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are actually in the Grey Cup. So thank you, Deputy Mayor Loughlin, for sticking up to your word.
No problem. I really enjoy bringing joy and warmth to the hearts of so many in this room and around the community, especially considering the time of year it is, the holiday season. So I hope this brings joy and warmth to everyone's hearts out there. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. For me, my report, October 30th, the regular council meeting here at City Hall. On November 6th, I attended the liaison meeting with the RM of Dauphin at the RM office. On the 9th, a few days later, we had the Parkland Chamber meeting here at City Hall, and I too attended the Remembrance Day service at Credit Union Place on November 11th. It was actually great to see about 3/4 full. It was the first time in a few years. The weather's been nice. I think last year was really cold, and then a couple of years before that there was a snowstorm. So just really nice to see the weather good and lots of people come out. And again, I'm glad I can warm your hearts. And that ends my report.
I'd just like to say that you look very good in blue, and you should wear it more often. And to the other side, Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. October 30th, I attended the last regular council meeting. On the 1st, I attended the rec committee meeting at the Cup. November 9th, I attended the agency luncheon held at the Friendship Center. On the 11th, I was at the Remembrance Day ceremony held at the Cup. On November 13th, I was present for the Community Safety and Wellbeing Zoom meeting we had with CMNCP this afternoon. I would also like to welcome Raylyn here. It seems like only yesterday that I was working with her as a grade 6 student in volleyball, but time flies. Speaking of volleyball, I'd like to congratulate the DRCSS varsity boys and girls volleyball teams on both winning their home tournament this past weekend. And also a reminder for everyone to support our community by purchasing a holiday smile cookie at Tim Hortons. My daughter and I will be distributing those tomorrow between 2 and 4 if you want to step by Tim's and pick one up. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. And Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm making notes here still. October 30th, I attended a regular council meeting here. On November 1st, I attended a policing meeting online with Deputy City Manager Lisa Gadet. However, due to technical issues, it did not gain legs, and we had to suspend our meeting. We will follow up at the AMM in Brandon, I'm sure. November 9th, attended a lunch and learn at the Dauphin Friendship Center. Just to add a bit more to it, we obtained information on a Food for Thought program. Costs about $63,000, and they don't get any funding for that. So that's all fund raised. So that will be starting. They're putting in effort. So again, mentioned anyone who wants to donate money or help them out to raise money. Also, Kerry Project made a presentation on a women's shelter. Just to let people know again that they have strict criteria on who goes there. That's not a place to just drop people off or anybody who's homeless. That's a whole different field. They obviously have a lot of programs and services they provide there, but for abusive situations only. Plus the Christmas hamper for families applications will be at Dauphin Friendship Center November 15th and the 16th, I think they said, coming up. I attended on behalf of City Council the DRCSS Clippers hockey game on Friday night to represent City Council for their Every Child Matters event. And due to some of the glitches in their system, I only used half of the speech that Deputy City Manager Gadet did for me and helped me with. So the second half was done, and it was very well done and appreciated. It was a good event. That was a big crowd. That was a Dauphin Kings style crowd. I would say there was 500 or 700 people there. And the Kings wore orange jerseys, and they beat the Swan Valley Stampeders 4-0. So it was a good night all around. On November 11th, I attended the Remembrance Day service. And also, put a plug in for smile cookies, and there's a dozen of them in the committee room that I bought for the meeting tonight. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Daly. I'll just add a couple of things that occurred for me. I did meet with our newly elected MLA, Ron Kosteshin, on November the 3rd, and we had our first of what I hope to be many one-on-one meetings just to discuss the relationship between the city of Dauphin and the province. And I was assured by Minister Kosteshin that the information that's included in the various ministerial mandate letters are being taken very seriously by the provincial government, and that the provincial government will be delivering on those things. And so there's some very good news, I believe, in some of those letters in regards to our city in the near future. So I just want to again commend Minister Kosteshin for reaching out and wanting to meet with the city on a regular basis. I'd like to further also just acknowledge that on November the 2nd, along with our city manager, I attended a meeting with Riding Mountain National Park and with the federal government representatives in the park on our memorandum of understanding and just the various issues that we'd like to bring to the table and the discussions we'd like to have with Riding Mountain National Park. I think the meeting was generally very positive, and that the sense is that given the very large bureaucracy that Parks Canada actually is, and the position of Riding Mountain National Park in that bureaucracy, that they want to work with the city of Dauphin and proceed with developments of the north side of the park trail. But there's a number of steps that have to be taken before that can actually occur, but we're both working on it from our different ends. And then to follow up with that, I also attended on behalf of the city a meeting that Riding Mountain National Park held in regards to their trail discussions. And so there were various representatives, it was last Saturday, various representatives from east, west, north, and south surrounding the park, and discussions with Riding Mountain National Park on their trail management plan and how external organizations and municipalities can work with them to help enhance and develop those trails. And so I think it was, again, another opportunity to be there. Our MP was also there, Dan Mazur, and so I had a chance to talk to him very briefly. And he's also very interested in ensuring that Riding Mountain National Park is working cooperatively with the municipalities around the park, given that that's in his federal riding. And I, too, attended the Remembrance Day celebration, I guess we can call it a celebration or event on the 11th to acknowledge the day. And I too was heartened by the number of people that were there, but also the representation of our fire department. And I was pleased to see the number of RCMP and Red Surge that were there, which was far more than previous years. And so that's a tremendous positive sign, I would like to say. And then finally, the number of cadets that were also present blew me away. There was probably, I don't know, Gertrude, you might know, there was like, I think over 40 cadets there, and not little peanut-sized cadets either, but all ages. And so again, that's it was just positive to see. And our city's acknowledgement of what all of those veterans have done for us in the past, I think is well acknowledged in our community, and we truly appreciate it. So with that, that's all I have to say. So I'd like to call for the question then, accept the reports from council. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none? And moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin and seconded by Councillor Sobering, be resolved that council meeting